everyone. This is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join ACE Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an ACE charity initiative. Powered by the Malala Fund.
This broadcast is for secondary school students. Hello listeners, my name is Adesomi Temitayo and I welcome you to today's English class on ACE Radio School. Today, I'll be taking you through a summary of all that I have taught you in July under sentence types. This month, we studied 4 types of sentences, which are simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. For the simple sentence, say it's an independent clause or the main clause that expresses only one thought, usually has one verb and conveys only one idea. Some of the examples we looked at under simple sentences are: the student walked into the classroom. She found Bello sitting on a chair. For the compound sentence, we said the compound sentence is formed when 2 or more independent clauses are joined together by using coordinating conjunctions like and, or, ne, but, etc. For example, the simple sentences mentioned earlier can be joined together in pairs as follows. The student walked into the classroom and found Bello sitting on a chair. Aminu went to the market and bought a lot of fruits. For complex sentence, it is a sentence with one independent or main clause and one or more dependent or subordinate clauses. The dependent clause in the complex sentence is usually introduced by a subordinating conjunction. For example, the teacher punished him because he bullied a junior. This is the girl who danced very well at the party. All these examples contain only one main clause that is supported by subordinate clauses which depend on it. In the first example, the teacher who punished him is the independent clause, and because he bullied him is the dependent clause. The fourth type is the compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence is a sentence with at least 2 independent or main clauses and at least 1 dependent or subordinate clause, which are combined into a single unit. And the examples we looked at are A. Because the student overslept, she came late to the examination hall, didn't answer all the questions, and failed the paper. There are 3 independent clauses here. She came late to the examination hall, she didn't answer all the questions, she failed the paper. The dependent clause is because the student slept. Another example we studied was, while the children were away, the dog crept into the room and ate the raw meat. In this example, how many independent clauses are there? We said there were 2 independent clauses. The dog crept into the room and the dog ate the raw meat. This is combined with the dependent clause while the children were away to form a whole sentence. So that was all we learned under types of sentences. We looked at the simple sentence, we looked at the compound sentence, looked at the complex sentence, and of course the compound complex sentence. A simple sentence contains just one independent clause and it expresses only one thought. A compound sentence contains 2 independent clauses and they are joined by a coordinating conjunction. A complex sentence contains 1 independent or main clause and 1 or more dependent or subordinate clauses. And of course, the dependent clause in the complex sentence is introduced by what we call a subordinating conjunction. For the compound complex sentence, as the name implies, it has at least two independent or main clauses and at least one dependent or subordinate clause, which are combined into a single unit. All right, students, it's time for questions. Are you ready? Listen to the following questions so that you can send your response as soon as possible. From the four sentences below, state the type of each, whether it is simple, compound, complex, or compound complex. You are to write whether the sentences are simple, compound, complex, or compound complex. Sentence number 1. Khalil plays cricket every evening. I repeat one again. Khalil plays cricket every evening. Sentence 2. Although he was wealthy, he was still unhappy. Although he was wealthy, he was still unhappy. 3. Sarah doesn't like cartoons because they are loud, so she doesn't watch them. I take 3 again. Sarah doesn't like cartoons because they are loud, so she doesn't watch them. Number 4. My family went to the park yesterday and we had a wonderful time. 4 again. My family went to the park yesterday and we had a wonderful time. Send your responses as a text message indicating your name, gender, state, and subject, that is English, to 070-363-03182. I take the number again, 070-363-03182. Alright, well done students for participating with your friends in today's English lesson. To listen to a repeat of this episode, tune in on Thursday at 2:30 p.m. and Saturday at 11:30 a.m. You can also catch up on past episodes on our YouTube channel called Ace Radio School. Don't forget to subscribe. Until I come your way again, it's Adesami saying bye for now.
This is an ACE charity initiative, powered by the Malala Fund.
This broadcast is for secondary school students. Hello listeners, my name is Mrs. Oluwashino Teniola and I welcome you to today's mathematics class on ACE Radio School. Today, I will be revising the laws of indices that we have learned so far. Get your pen and notebook and let's get ready to learn. Previously, I explained that the index, also known as the power, is written as a small number to the right and above the base number. The first law of indices is the product rule. The first law of indices is the product rule. Consider the example a raised to the power 3 times a raised to the power 2. They both have the same base, which is a. Therefore, we say a raised to the power 3 times a raised to the power 2 equals a raised to the power 3 plus 2. The multiplication sign has been changed to a plus sign. Therefore, 3 plus 2 equals 5. A raised to the power 3 times a raised to the power 2 equals a raised to the power 5. Great. The second law of indices is a division rule. The second law of indices is a division rule. Let's try this example. A raised to the power 3 divided by a raised to the power 2. A raised to the power 3 divided by a raised to the power 2. This equals a raised to the power 3 minus 2. The division sign has been changed to a negative sign. Therefore, 3 minus 2 equals 1. So we have a raised to the power 3 divided by a raised to the power 2 equals a raised to the power 1, which is the same thing as a. Fantastic! The third law of indices is the law of raising a power to a power. The third law of indices is the law of raising a power to a power. Consider the example. Open bracket, a raised to the power 2, close bracket, raised to the power 3. Consider the example. Open bracket, a raised to the power 2, close bracket, raised to the power 3. All you need to do is to multiply the powers together. The powers here are 2 times 3. 2 and 3. Hence, 2 times 3 equals 6. Therefore, open bracket, a raised to the power 2, close bracket, raised to the power 3 equals a raised to the power 6. The fourth law is the zeroth law. The fourth law is the zeroth law. The law simply says that whatever number or letter raised to the power of 0 is 1. That is, a raised to the power 0 equals 1. 1 million raised to the power 0 equals 1. The fifth law is the law of negative indices. The fifth law is the law of negative indices. Consider the example, a raised to the power 2 divided by a raised to the power 3. As long as the expression has the same base, you can express it as a raised to the power 2 minus 3. The division sign has been changed to a negative sign. Therefore, 2 minus 3 equals minus 1. That is, a raised to the power 2 minus 3 equals a raised to the power minus 1. Hence, a raised to the power 2 divided by a raised to the power 3 equals a raised to the power 2 minus 3 equals a raised to the power minus 1, which can be written as 1 over a. Good. The sixth law is a fractional indices. The sixth law is a fractional indices. Consider this example. Simplify 16 raised to power 1 over 2. Simplify 16 raised to power 1 over 2. This is simply asking you for the square root of 16. That is, to look for two equal numbers such that when you multiply these two numbers, their result will be 16. That will be 4 times 4. Hence, the square root of 16 is 4. That is, 16 raised to the power 1 over 2 equals the square root of 16, which is equal to 4. Let's consider another example. Simplify 8 raised to the power 1 over 3. This means finding the cube root of 8. That is, finding 3 equal numbers such that when you multiply these 3 numbers, their result will be 8. That will be 2 times 2 times 2. Yay! 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. Hence, the cube root of 8 is 2. That is, 8 raised to the power 1 over 3 equals the cube root of 8, which is equal to 2. Well done, listeners. We've come to the end of today's session. We revise the laws of indices. I'd like you to try this as an assignment and send in your answers to this phone number 070-3630-3182. Write your name, age, gender. If you're a boy, type male. If you're a girl, type female. Your class and the state you currently live in. I hope you've done that. Now the questions. 1. Simplify 3 raised to power minus 2. Simplify 3 raised to power minus 2. Question 2. Simplify 25 raised to power 1 over 2. Simplify 25 raised to power 1 over 2. Question 3. Simplify m raised to power 3 divided by m raised to power 4. Simplify m raised to power 3 divided by m raised to power 4. Okay, we'll be expecting your answers. To listen to a repeat of this episode, tune in on Thursday at 2:30 p.m. and Saturday at 11:30 a.m. You can also catch up on past episodes on our YouTube channel called Ace Radio School. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, it's bye for now.
Hello, everyone. This is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join Ace Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an Ace charity initiative. Powered by the Malala Fund.
This session is for secondary school students. Hello listeners, my name is Mrs. Mosi and I am your Ace Radio School biology teacher. In our previous lessons, we have learnt about our immune system, how it helps us fight against diseases and pathogens, the types of immunity, and we learnt a bit about the white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. In today's lesson, we will do a recap on all we have learned in our previous lessons so we can have a better understanding of the immune system. Get your book and pen as we begin today's lesson. As we have learned previously, the immune system protects our body from diseases and helps us fight against pathogens that enter our body. And remember that pathogens are disease-causing organisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, parasites, and more. The immune system can be found in different cells, organs, tissues, and proteins spread around the body. That is why it can distinguish our tissue from a foreign tissue. That is, if there's any new thing in our body, the immune system will know about it. Cells that are no longer useful or are faulty are cleared away by the immune system. The immune system has different parts, namely white blood cells, antibodies, complement system, lymphatic system, spleen, bone marrow, and thymus. The white blood cells are a key part of the immune system. They are made in our bone marrow. White blood cells are known as leukocytes and they are constantly moving through the blood and tissue in search of pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and fungi. When they find them, they begin to fight them so that they would leave our body. The white blood cell includes lymphocytes such as B cells, T cells, and natural killer cells. We also learned about the types of immunity, which are innate immunity, adaptive immunity, passive immunity, and immunizations. Can you also remember that we learned that the innate immunity is also known as natural immunity? And an example is the skin, which acts as a barrier to block germs from entering the body. That is wonderful. Also, we learned that adaptive immunity is developed after we have been exposed to some diseases as we grow up. till our old age. The adaptive immunity is the one that keeps record of every single pathogen it has ever defeated, and if it is detected again, it fights it better. Next is the passive immunity, which is known to be from another source. For example, a baby that gets antibodies from the mother's breast milk and an unborn baby that gets antibodies from its mother through the placenta. Usually, this type of immunity does not last for a long time. And finally, we have immunizations that introduce an antigen of an infection to a person so that the body produces antibodies against that infection, and whenever the body is exposed to that pathogen any other time, it is able to fight that pathogen immediately. When the antigen is introduced, the individual does not fall sick. However, the body produces antibodies to fight that infection. Let us move on to the white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. As we have learned already, they are a central part of the immune system and one of the cells made by the body to help fight infections. All leukocytes are produced in the bone marrow and stored in various parts of the body. When the amount of leukocyte in the body is high, it is trying to fight an infection. When the white blood cell count is between 4,000 and 11,000 per microliter of blood, then it is normal. If the number of leukocytes is above 11,000 per microliter, it is called leukocytosis. And when the count is below 4,000 per microliter of blood, it is called leukopenia. This means our immune system is weak. Can you also remember we learned that our immune system can overreact and underreact? When they overreact, it is called allergy, and most times it is harmless. Allergies are quite common. Underactivity is when the immune system doesn't react the way it should react, and sometimes it can be inherited. That means someone can be born with it. It can also be caused due to some medical treatments. It can be caused by other diseases like certain types of cancer and HIV/AIDS. And another name for underactive immune system is immunodeficiency. We learned also that autoimmunity is when the immune system makes a mistake and attacks normal body components. Now you have a better understanding of what the immune system is, the types we have, where it is produced, where it is located in the body, the white blood cells, and the activity of the immune system in general. Remember also to eat healthy, wash your hands, and keep your environment clean and tidy to reduce the number of germs and bacteria you can encounter. I'll give you an assignment. Send a text message to this number 07036303182 and tell me one thing you learned in today's lesson. Make sure you also type your name, age, class, subject, and the state you live in. Now here is the question. What type of immunity occurs when a baby gets antibodies from the mother's breast milk? What type of immunity occurs when a baby gets antibodies from the mother's breast milk? A. Passive immunity. B. Innate immunity. C. Annual immunity. Now click send and we will receive your answer. Thank you for listening. Be sure to tune in on Thursdays by 2:30 p.m. and Saturdays 11:30 a.m. for a repeat of this episode. If you can, subscribe to our ACE Radio School YouTube channel to catch up on topics you have missed. Our channel is called ACE Radio School. Bye everyone, and remember to wash your hands regularly.
Hello everyone, this is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join Ace Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an ACE charity initiative. Powered by the Malala Fund.